Snakes on a Plane came out 20 years ago with Samuel L. Jackson. And after reviewing the movie Flight, a lot of you guys asked me to review this movie. Now listen, I know this isn't a very realistic movie, but I'm still gonna show you what's real and what's not. So let's go ahead and review the movie, Snakes on a Plane.
Let's go!
So you got any requests for your final flight?
Well, just what any flight attendant wants.
Low maintenance passengers.
Low maintenance passengers. I would say that's pretty accurate. I don't know, flight attendants, you tell me, is that your biggest request as low maintenance passengers?
Very nice.
FBI's escorting some guy to LA. They just took over all first class.
Okay, so first off, the captain looks good here. He's got 4 stripes. You'd be surprised how many movies can't even get that right. Like a captain not having 4 stripes or not having any epaulets or anything at all. So at least they got that part good.
Are they allowed to do that?
Well, apparently FAA Section 108 states, if deemed necessary, they can do whatever they want.
Okay, so Section 108, especially back in 2006, did not exist. There was no such thing as FAA Section 108. However, in 2026, we are getting a Section 108, but that has to do with the regulation of drones.
Who's going to tell the first class passengers they're flying coach?
That'd be you, kid.
Okay, let's be clear. The flight attendants would never have to inform all the passengers right when they get on that they're suddenly in coach. That would be the gate agent for sure that would be doing that.
Oh my.
It's Todd Packer. This guy literally plays the same role as Todd Packer in The Office. I can't tell a difference.
I was hoping you'd be the sky candy on this flight. You're looking especially delicious this evening.
I love it when you demean me, Rick.
My pleasure. I gotta go fly a big plane. Hi, doll.
Hi there, Rick.
I gotta go fly a big plane. They do a pretty good job of showing the just typical sleazeball pilot in this. I'll give them that for sure. Okay, so funny part, that actually looks like Honolulu Airport, but I don't know what this plane is doing. When you take off and come back around, you would not be, they look like at 1,000 feet. So that looks very weird there. Obviously not very realistic. Okay, so right away here, they're shooting straight into a thunderstorm with lightning bolts all across those clouds. You would not be flying like that straight into those clouds. There has been a point in my career where I have tried to punch through the weather and there was just nothing there. There was no gaps, so we literally turned around and went back. And this would be a point where if you have no options, you may just have to turn and go back. Okay, come on. All right, so... Oh my God, no. Okay, so what they have here is supposed to be like a sensor or a pressure thing that when you hit 30,000 feet, this timer starts and then it's gonna explode and let the snakes all out, right? But the funny thing is this is inside the cabin, so the pressure inside is not 30,000 feet. So long story short, the pressure inside the plane is not gonna move all the way up to your altitude. So when you have a sensor in here, you know, that's only gonna go up to like 4,000 or 5,000 feet. And here, it looks like they're going up to like 30, it looks like they have 35,000 feet.
In Hawaii for vacation?
Not really. I was there for the kickboxing tournament.
Oh my God, you're a kickboxer? Me too. Well, I take a kickboxing class with Bonnie, Malibu Fitness. And my girlfriend and I go Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, girlfriend.
He shrugs them off and says, yeah, girlfriend. You know, you gotta love 2006, 20 years ago, is much more acceptable to just completely make jokes about those kind of things. Okay, so the snakes are out. We'll see how realistic this is for them going through the plane. All right, messing with the lavatory smoke detector. Do not do this. This will get you in big trouble. Could they have got a more stereotypical Hawaii or California couple that's like hippies and was smoking weed on the plane? Like, that's funny. See, I don't understand how the snakes got from below the cargo bin, suddenly now they're above on top of this plane. I see all this space up here, and this doesn't make sense. On the 747, when you're up there at the top level where the passengers are, there's not much room above you. So I don't know how they suddenly magically got around the sides and up above them.
Lost avionics. Notify LAX.
LAX, Hula 121. Mayday, mayday, mayday. We are 1,500 nautical miles southwest of Los Angeles. Repeat, mayday. We have lost avionics.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Couple things to break down there. One, lightning strikes, you're not going to hear inside the plane, and you're not going to hear thunder and things like that unless it hits the plane directly. You're not going to hear anything. Number two, when you say you lost avionics, that's not really a thing you're going to call, and you might not necessarily, say that. You might lose comms, you might lose nav, you might lose something like that. And then three, he's calling LAX Tower saying he's 1,500 miles away. One, you don't talk to Tower until you're about maybe like 3 to 5 miles from the airport. You'd be talking to approach and then center. And out there over in the middle of Hawaii, you would be talking to San Francisco radio. So I don't know why that was so hard. You'd ask a pilot and say, who would you be talking out? On the way to Hawaii in the middle of the ocean, you'd be talking to San Francisco radio. Now, back in 2006, they didn't really have CPDLC or SATCOM, or it was just kind of just coming online. So these guys would be on HF radios talking to San Francisco radio, which is these people in a room. They wouldn't be talking to LAX Tower. And by the way, HF radio is so staticky. I mean, it sounds like barely, it's like you can barely hear it on HF.
Emergency, you have priority. Give me the manual, take control.
I have control.
Okay, not a bad transfer, but it's basically should be, my aircraft or, transfer controls that way.
That's my big boy.
Oh no. All right, this has nothing to do with aviation, but I can just tell you that no guy ever talks like that to himself.
Oh shit, Rick, we got smoke.
Something's probably arced in the avionics.
Okay, this part's interesting because some of these bigger planes do have avionics bay that you can go down underneath to access. The 777 has it, and there's it's underneath these boards that you can walk down in there. It's very rare that a pilot would have to go down there, especially during a flight, but there may be some exemptions. As far as the 747, I do not think that this would be here, like right there in the cockpit. I think it would be somewhere else on the plane, if I had to guess.
That's it, old man. We're back in bed.
Captain! Rick!
What is it?
Something's happened to the captain.
All right, I'm coming. Oh, Christ. Did you see what happened?
No.
Captain? I think he's had a heart attack.
So maybe it's not procedure, but I wouldn't send the only other pilot down to the avionics bay and have nobody at the flight controls, no matter what. And then I'm nitpicking here, but you never have to put in a code to get out of the cockpit. That's always, you can just walk out.
I've been with that man for 10 years.
Let's go back.
We're halfway. It'll take longer to get back to Honolulu and keep going to LA.
Okay, that's actually a good point. Hawaii to LA is one of the only places, obviously Alaska, anywhere on the West Coast going to Hawaii is one of the few places that you go where there is no stops in between. When I fly the Atlantic and I go over to London, you have different places that you can stop. But as far as Hawaii, it's nothing out there. It's actually freaky. On like days that I've flown out there and on a clear day and all you see is deep blue sea for hours and hours and you're going at 600 miles an hour. It's kind of crazy to think about that if something goes wrong, you have nowhere to go. So when he says we're halfway, that's exactly right. We have everything planned out that when you fly to Hawaii to LA, that you know exactly the point where you're either turning around or you just continue on. So what he says here is that it's take longer to turn around is a good point. Real quick, let's hear from the sponsor and then we'll get right back to the video. Financial resolutions are great, but let's be honest, budgets don't magically reset on January 1st. After the holidays, credit card bills hit, routines come back, and cash feels tight. That's exactly why I use Upside. Upside is a free app that helps you earn cash back on gas, groceries, and dining, which for me are the three things that drain my wallet the most, except for my wife and kids. Between commuting, airport runs, and grabbing food on the road, it fits perfectly into my daily routine. There are over 100,000 participating locations, and this is extra cash back. Not points, not credit cards that expire. It's money that you can transfer straight into your bank account. And here's how it works. Open the app, claim the offer, pay your card like normal, and then get paid. You can earn up to 3 times more cash back than using loyalty programs or your credit card points alone. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use the promo code GaryBPilot to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using the promo code GaryBPilot. Thank you to Upside for sponsoring this channel, and now back to the video.
Make sure everybody's strapped in. LAX Tower, this is Hula 121. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Pilot in command has suffered a fatal heart attack. What?
Okay, so that was a good call. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Although, again, they wouldn't be talking to LAX Tower. That's funny.
What the?
I guess in a way it kind of gets you in a primal way, because imagine, like, it's not impossible for a snake to be on a plane in that sense, which, by the way, Samuel L. Jackson says he took the role of the movie by the name alone. He said it was so direct, no fluff, you knew exactly what you were getting, that's the reason why he took it. But having a snake pop out of your instrument panel, like, that actually would be a little bit scary. Okay, so I don't know what's happening right here. There's a snake slithering. He's trying to hit it with a piece of paper or like a clipboard or something, but then all of a sudden the sparks start flying and then the oxygen mask drops. So that doesn't make any sense to me at all, because I don't know what would cause the electrical spark from a snake being there or hitting that. And, you know, I don't know if they were trying to show that he hit the button. Most oxygen mask deployment is going to be up above on the overhead panel. Right in the face.
Rick, what's up with the oxygen mask deploying?
No, sorry about that. You're not gonna believe what came out of the goddamn instrument.
I like how she just walks in like, what's up with the oxygen mask deploying? Like she didn't hear the whole plane just go into pandemonium and scream.
You're not gonna believe what came out of the goddamn instrument panel.
What?
Look at this. Goddamn snake, honey.
And now it's just pandemonium of like 20 minutes of just snakes just terrorizing the plane, which is, you know, crazy.
John, stay up here.
I've got ophidiophobia.
He's just going to town with a taser.
Hey, we have to figure something out.
All right, well, I know what I gotta do. We're in a 200-foot aluminum tube, and we're 30,000 feet in the air. And any one of those slimy little pieces of shit can trip a circuit or a relay or a hydraulic, and this bird goes down faster than a tie hooker. So my job is to keep LAX informed on how totally screwed we are, and then find some way to keep this mother in the sky another 2 hours. Figure that out.
Okay, so I don't know why he's talking to Samuel L. Jackson that way, but trivia right here. Can you spot anything wrong with what he said? More particularly, he said, we're at 30,000 feet. Does anybody know, comment if you know without looking up, what's wrong with that? Why going from Hawaii to LAX would be at 30,000 feet a problem? All right, answer if you didn't look it up. The answer is we have airways going east and west at different altitudes. So when you're going eastbound, you stay at odd altitude. So you'd be at 31, 33, 35. If you're going westbound, you'd be even. So you could be at 30,000, 32,000, 34,000. So that's what's wrong with there. Secondly, the 747 has like a ceiling of 45,000 feet. So if these guys were dealing with all this weather, they most likely could have took that baby all the way up and went way above the weather and not had an issue. And then he said he thinks the snakes could take down a hydraulics. I doubt that. I like how these snakes have come each which way, and then they put up a couple suitcases and they think that's going to stop it. Okay, you already found a snake on the instrument panel, and then there's snakes everywhere on the plane, and then you leave the pilot up there still with nobody else up there protecting the only person that can fly? Okay, there's one misconception here. There's either two things going on here. Either the autopilot is on and it's flying, or the autopilot's off, and if nobody's at the controls, this thing is crashing within a couple seconds, or it's at least getting into an undesirable state where it's going to crash very soon. So it's just funny though to watch Hollywood do this thing with the, with the autopilot. All right, fun fact trivia of the day. Yes or no? Type the comment, don't look it up. Do most aircrafts have an axe like this in the cockpit? And the answer is yes, most of them do, although the handle isn't usually that long. It's called a crash axe and it's much smaller of a handle, but the axe is basically like a full size.
Okay, let's pull this thing up.
I like how Samuel L. Jackson, A, knows the code. I get he's FBI, but I don't know why he would know this code. And two, how he walks in all calmly to see her hitting the snake and then like he knows already what's happening. All right, let's pull this thing up.
Sending through 23,000 feet. No time to strap in. Just pull up. Pull hard. Pull a 121 heavy. We're now below.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Do you copy?
It's not working. Okay, so she says it's not working. Now, let's be clear. Anybody, it doesn't take, my grandma could get up there and move the plane around, and she died in 2015. But in all seriousness, anybody can move this plane, all right? It's simple mechanics. Now, what the danger is of a person that doesn't know how to fly is doing something over controlling it. But simply trying to pull back and say it's not working is just not going to happen. You pull back on that plane, it's going to go up. It does not take much force. All right, ATC can chime in here for me, but I call BS on this whole format of the way this is laid out. It says SPA 121, and it just shows their altitude to the exact foot. Like, that's pretty impressive. I would say that's not how it looks at all.
Pull a 121 heavy. Pull up. Pull up. Get me NTSB. And call the Coast Guard. Heavy, you are now below 1,000 feet. Pull up.
Dude, 1,000 feet out over the middle of the ocean is just crazy work. Okay, that makes for a cool shot, but that makes no sense. As I said, it takes both of them to pull back of the full strength. Like, you're telling me Samuel L. Jackson can't pull back enough to make this plane to dive from 18,000 feet down to, looks like they made it like 200 feet off the ground. But no, the reality is that that plane is controlled by hydraulics, could easily be moved. It does not take any type of force like that. I mean, it's simply like opening a door. If you pulled back that much force, the plane's gonna go up.
Holy fuck.
Oh, thank God.
The 121 heavy.
I gotta say, looking at Samuel L. Jackson's expressions here, it doesn't seem like it's his finest acting work, but I don't know. And I love the guy. I'm just saying, watching this, it's just my opinion.
Somebody want to tell me what's going on up there?
We've lost our...
Todd Packer is back.
Oh, Rick.
Okay, so you have a pilot back in the seat for a third time. Surely you wouldn't leave him alone again. He's been bitten by a snake. He's the only pilot left on the plane. Surely you wouldn't leave him alone for a third time, right?
Don't break your arm. Okay.
There you go. Oh, yeah. You know, Claire, I think I'm gonna need your shirt, too.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, hey, that's kind of funny. I'm not going to lie.
Yo, how come there's no air coming out of this piece of junk? How come there's no air coming out of here?
Only lasts about 10 minutes after they deploy. Now, please, I just need...
Please, nothing. Get up.
That is true. That is true. Those oxygen masks do not supply air forever. It is basically just meant to do enough to get you until the pilots get down to a safe altitude, and then you can take them off. So that's true that it only goes for 10 minutes. Oh no, what did I say? 2 times already. They had left him alone. There's a single pilot up there and he just got bitten by a snake and now you leave him alone again? Like you couldn't have asked one person to sit there and watch, stay with him? But that probably wouldn't have helped the storyline. Okay, I'm totally nitpicking, but cockpit doors do not have handles like that. And then also, you're not going to be able to use a knife to just open it. And then also, everybody was using the code to go in and out. So why wouldn't you just use the code? Now nobody's flying the plane.
Flynn, I know could land this plane.
Who?
Him. Yeah, you. Come on, Troy. You know you can do this, man. Come on, take us home, dog.
You know how to fly? I mean, I got over 2,000 hours.
I got over 2,000 hours. If you have 2,000 hours, you should be eligible for an ATP certificate.
Everybody strap in.
I'm about to open some fucking windows. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so he's opening the windows in the attempt to suck all the snakes out while everybody else is strapped in. Little FYI, that would not actually work. So if the pressure does change like that, it happens so incredibly fast. If a window is actually blown out, it might be 1 to 2 seconds. And then the entire plane is now the same pressure as whatever the outside pressure is. So there's not going to be like this force continually to suck you out. There's going to be this loud noise and it's going to be a lot of commotion. But as far as like the pressure, it's not going to be changed. It's only initially. The people that ever got sucked out is like where something blew out like a door and you're right there and it's initially you get that a pull. But after that, you're not going to just continually have this negative pressure to suck all the snakes out of this plane and all this nonsense that's happening. But hey, it's a movie, right? Okay, now it's just ripping holes in the side of the plane from stuff coming in. That's not happening either.
Hit that autopilot switch for me.
Why? The autopilot switch that they hit is in the middle, so why is he asking him to do it? And not to mention, if the autopilot was on or off, right, which I'm assuming it'd have to be on for all that with nobody was up there, why wouldn't you just leave it on? That's my thing.
That's what I'm talking about, boy. This shit is bananas.
Hey, I got to give them credit. At least it's not like Soul Plane when they went to take off and they pull the power lever backwards to take off. I mean, at least he pushed forward and the plane appears to be going down. So I'll give him that. Oh, come on. Now the whole thing. Come on. Now the whole wall just exploded out and now people are it's even more pressure. I just don't see the point of like all these like muscles to have to control the plane. He's like, come on, push and pull, or whatever he's saying to Samuel L. Jackson there. And the reality is, as I said, it's such an easy, light touch on the plane.
Yeah, right about there. Okay, we're leveling out.
Okay, put on the shoulder harnesses. All right, fun fact of the day. Type in the comments, don't look it up. When are pilots required to have their shoulder harnesses on during flight? And in this one, I'll just respond to the comments. I'm not going to tell you here.
All right, what's up, y'all? What it is. This is your new pilot, Troy, speaking.
Okay, so that's not the most appropriate call to LAX. What's up, y'all? What it is.
Look, LAX, just give me my VOR numbers and my approach vectors and I'll be fine.
Sir,
Okay, come on. He says, give me my VOR numbers and my approach vectors. Other pilots out there, what do you think? Does that even remotely make sense? The approach vectors is an okay thing. Like, that makes sense. But the VOR numbers, probably be asking for an ILS at this point. But VOR numbers is, that's funny.
I suggest you relinquish the pilot's chair to someone more experienced.
This is Agent Neville Flynn, FBI. You are talking to the only person up here who has that experience. I suggest you give him what he needs so we can land this thing.
LAX Tower, this is Hula 121 requesting clearance for landing. Please advise which runway.
Hula 121 Heavy, we're in the process of clearing all the runways, but you got a strong tailwind. Advise, come around and use runway 24 left.
No, negative, Tower. I can't do that. I don't have time.
So LAX basically has 4 parallel runways, and he says use 24 left. That's not the longest runway. The longest runway is 25 right on the other side of that terminal, and I would use 25 right because it's definitely a longer runway.
Look, I got a lot of injured passengers up here who need help immediately.
You try to land west to east, you'll come in too fast to control.
Well, then I suggest you speed up clearing the rest of the runways, because my ass is coming in for a landing.
Okay, I know this movie's a joke and all that stuff, and it's not meant to be taken seriously, but what the ATC here is saying is correct. He's saying you have a tailwind, you don't want to land that way, especially somebody that's inexperienced. Typically, most airlines have a max tailwind between like 10 to 15 knots, meaning if the wind's coming at your tail, you cannot land with more than 10 knots. So if he's saying that the wind is coming in from the west, he needs to come and turn around. And so he's saying just get the, Keenan here say, just get the people out of my way. But the reality is the wind is not set up for it. You would want to go circle around and land into the wind, especially when you don't know what you're doing.
All right, brace yourselves, you guys. This is it.
Everybody brace yourselves!
That landing probably would have snapped the gear coming down that hard, or at the very least done some serious structural damage. But, bounce landing, you're supposed to go around. In this case, might make an exception. It actually here looks like they're on 25 right coming in, which would be 7 left if you landed this direction.
Oh, this part ain't in the game. Is crashing part of the game, huh? I don't know, man. I usually just hit reset and start the level over. Oh, shit, left! Left!
Left isn't going to help you. You just need to hit the brakes and get the power to idle and then hit the reverse thrust. I don't know how left would help them here. And they did it. They made it all the way. And the LAX tower guy that worked him all the way from the middle of the Pacific Ocean all the way in to ground. Pretty impressive.
Woo! All praises to the PlayStation. Yeah! Yeah!
That's my boy Troy, yes!
Hell yeah! Whose house is this? Troy?
Yeah, if I had no pilot experience and I landed the plane like that, I'd be pretty pumped. What the? Okay, I don't know what I'm missing here, but I know the snake's on there and he's trying to shoot the snake out, but he literally shot him straight forward into the chest. That might be the most unrealistic part of this whole movie. He shot him straight at him and then only hit the snake but didn't kill him. Sorry, bud, you'd be dead in that case.
You all right? Yeah. Come on. Come on.
And then, of course, the guy that they kept insinuating through the whole movie was gay suddenly has the hot girlfriend. So what a redemption arc. Well, let me know your thoughts. Snakes on a Plane, right? Was it a horror movie? Was it a comedy? I don't know. This was actually the first time I'd ever watched it all the way through. So overall, not bad. Realistic score, I'm going to give it like a 2.5. And as far as entertainment wise, I'm going to give it more like a 7. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. And as always, stay safe.